And good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Breslin Center on the campus of Michigan State University in East Lansing, Michigan, for the Michigan High School Athletic Association Class D Boys Basketball State Semifinal Contest between the Crystal Falls Forest Park Trojans and the Comets of McBain Northern Michigan Christian. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. I'm Todd Arner, along with Mike Cenit, as we bring you all the action of these two teams who will be fighting for a chance to play for the state title Saturday afternoon. And Mike, it's been a long season for both of these teams. Crystal Falls comes in 25-0, McBain Northern Michigan 22-4. It's obviously been a very successful season so far for both teams, but a loss at this point, when you're this close to the goal, always hurts a lot.
Well, of course, it's always heartbreaking to see anybody lose at this level, but when you reach this far, these kids have got to be on cloud nine. And nobody likes to lose, but somebody's got to win, Todd.
And it's going to be a great matchup between these two teams, two very quality teams. And we're looking forward to seeing these two Class D teams play as the captains meet out at center court. I know it's fun with these smaller schools. In fact, McBain Northern Michigan Christian with an enrollment, not a team, but an enrollment of 95 players. When you have these smaller cities like this, the entire community comes out to back the team.
Well, what's even more interesting is they suit up 14 players, which is about 13 or 14% of the entire school.
He did that without a calculator, too. That's good, Mike. Well, it's been a long season for both these teams. As we said, Crystal Falls Forest Park is unbeaten at 25-0. McBain Northern Michigan Christian at 22-4. Let's take a look at how each of these two teams got here, starting with the Comets of McBain Northern Michigan Christian.
Well, McBain's had kind of an interesting run. In the district, they beat Marion, Forest Area, and Brethren, but they held their opposition to under 43 points for all three games. In the regionals, they beat a good Onikama team. They went on to beat Muskegon Western Michigan Christian. And in the quarterfinals, they beat a very, very good Maple City Glen Lake. So they have their work cut out for them, but they've really honed their teeth on some very, very good teams.
Crystal Falls, again, is one of those teams that has gone all the way without losing a single game. They defeated Garney, Nadu in the Class D districts, along with Iron Mountain North Dickinson in the Class D regional. This team knocked off Baraga and Ewan Trout Creek. That one a close game, as you can see, a one-point contest, and had, well, not exactly an easy time with Brimley in the quarterfinal, but they did win it by 7, 67-60, and that's the road that both of these teams took to the Breslin Center. Of course, the winner of this one will move on and play the winner of Portland St. Patrick and Holy Redeemer in the Class D title game. So they're hoping that it's a victory today, a night in Lansing, and then the big one tomorrow afternoon live on Pass Sports.
Yeah, and it'd be kind of interesting if Holy Redeemer wins, because you have two very little schools playing a big city Detroit school, and the contrast in styles is always very, very interesting. That's one of the neat part about these tournaments. You have such contrast in styles in a single elimination tournament. It's kind of the way the team executes their style best, and they go home with a victory.
Crystal Falls, of course, in case you don't know your geography, from the Upper Peninsula on the western side of the UP, and McBain Northern Michigan Christian up in the northwest section of the Lower Peninsula. Those are our two teams, and it should be a fantastic game. And we're going to bring it to you right here from the Breslin Center, a great venue to do a high school basketball game. These kids got to be thrilled just to be playing here once.
Oh, yeah, it's even great just sitting here doing the game. One of the more interesting facts about this game, how evenly these two teams are matched. The two big Detroit papers, the two experts, one picked one way, the other picked the other way. So this game is a kind of a coin flip, and I think what you're going to see is really a contrast in styles. The McBain team is a very, very good ball control team, and they execute their defense very well. They cut off the passing lanes. The other way, Crystal Falls is a much bigger team, and they'll look to dominate under the basket.
And both teams have a go-to guy. For the Trojans, it will be Darrin Kudwa, who's a 6'4", 200-pound senior, averaging 20.6 points a game. And it's Aaron Winkle averaging 25.5 for the Comets. And we take a pause now to bring you our national anthem. about ready to bring you the starting lineups for this Class D semifinal contest from the Breslin Center in East Lansing, Michigan. A couple of big names hanging from the rafters of this still somewhat young but historic building. Gregory Kelser's number, of course, a guy that used to play here and helped them to a 1979 national title, a guy named Irving Magic Johnson. I'm sure many of you have heard of before. And then that new guy that they just raised up there, that guy named Judd something or other.
Yeah, he's that gray-haired fellow in that green jacket. He probably will go down as a legend in coaching forever and ever.
We'll start with introducing the Trojans of Crystal Falls Forest Park. There's the Judd Heathcote banner. Here's our starting lineups. First of all, we'll take a look at the Comets. First of all, it will be number 24 on top. You see, that is Blair Heatheist, a 6'1", 170-pound senior. Number 40 is Dusty Hemis, 5'11", 160-pound junior. And then the big guy, Aaron Winkle, averaging 25 and a half a game. He's number 32. It will be number 22, Doug Rohde, 5'8", 135-pound senior. And finally, Josh Sharda, 5'9", 170-pound junior. On the other side, for Crystal Falls Forest Park, number 51 is Kyle Holmes. We also have number 55, David Group, a 6'1", 175-pound senior. Number 35 is Matt Wilcox. He goes 6'6", 190, averages 8.7 points a game. Number 11 is Mike Simony, 5'8", 145-pound guard. He's a junior that scores at a 5.6 per game clip. And then number 33, the big gunner for Crystal Falls Forest Park, number 33, Darrin Kudwa, who is 6'4" and 200 pounds. And as Mike Cenit mentioned in our pregame, obviously one team has the height advantage. As Crystal Falls Forest Park goes 5'8", will kind of throw him out. 6'4", 6'6", 6'2", and 6'1", and only a 6'1" and a 6'2" in the lineup for the Comets.
And that's very unusual for a school this size. Usually the differences between the A's and the C's and the D's are the height of the kids, because the bigger cities obviously have the pool of the bigger kids. So I understand from the pregame stats, this is the biggest team size-wise they've ever had at this school, and obviously they've gone a long way trying to use that height, because when this coach took over, when Ward took over just 3 years ago, his first year they were 2-19. This year they're 20, I believe they're 25-0 now.
25-0.
So obviously with the height and his coaching skill, they've gone a long way. And it's very exciting for an Upper Peninsula team to come down here and compete with the Lower Peninsula heavy population schools.
Ward Helikowski, by the way, a third-year coach of Crystal Falls Forest Park, and McBain Northern Michigan Christian also has a third-year coach in Gene Braz. And we are about ready to get things underway. Crystal Falls Forest Park in dark in the black jerseys, and you see McBain Northern Michigan Christian in the white. They exchange their greetings at center court, and we're about ready to get things underway. It'll be Aaron Hinkle jumping at center for McBain, and he's going up against Matt Wilcox. And we are underway with a Class D semifinal game. The tip controlled by Aaron Winkle. And immediately, Crystal Falls Forest Park drops back into defense.
And again, we could look for a very ball-controlled team. The Comets like to pick their shot, and they're in no hurry.
Working it around on top with the ball. That's Dusty Hemis who drives the lane. We've got a whistle on top. Quick foul going against Crystal Falls Forest Park.
And remember, there's no time clock in high school basketball, so if a team is comfortable with ball control, they could take 40 or 50 or 60 seconds to get their shot.
Fouls on Matt Wilcox. The bounce pass comes into Hinkle, but it's picked up out in the corner by Doug Rohde. Now back on top to Hinkle, standing beyond the arc. Big guy, but he'll get up on top with it. Aaron Hinkle, 6'2". Right wing to Sharda. Sharda will try to penetrate, pulls up, little jumper in the lane, back of the iron, won't go, and a whistle on the rebound.
Kind of interesting, right off the bat, they're willing to test Crystal Falls in the paint. They're willing to drive that paint and perhaps draw the fouls against the bigger guys.
So their first possession, they come up empty. We are at no score, and up the court with for the first time is Mike Simony. Simony goes on the right wing. Now driving baseline, Samani, and a whistle inside. And already, Mike, perhaps we're seeing that this game is going to be called tightly. The referee sending a message early.
Yeah, and these are the cream of the crop, these referees. And one thing you depend on, they'll be consistent throughout the game.
David Group will inbound the ball for Crystal Falls. Comes on top to Mike Simony. There's your big fella, Darrin Kudwa. Simony right wing, nice bounce pass down low, but they kick it back out on top, and there's a 3-ball. Count it from David Group.
Yeah, and he just squared off and let fly a semi-set shot, one-hand push, and buried it.
He was wide open and took it. And on top of the ball is Aaron Winkle. Left wing it goes. They'll work it around against that zone defense. Trying to be very patient.
Again, they're very comfortable, the Comets, with scores in the 50s and the 40s, and you can see why with their very patterned offense.
Dusty Hemmes drives low and then tries to dish it back on top, and we've got another foul.
Kind of interesting. Every one of the Trojans, as you will, has a little tattoo in the upper left arm.
Excuse me, we didn't have a foul. We had the ball out of bounds, and the Comets will keep it. Winkle looking for a screen, didn't get one. It's slapped away, stolen by Group. Now it's loose, and it's finally picked up. And leading 3-0. Here comes Crystal Falls. Matt Wilcox hands it off to Mike Simony. Popping up is Kudwa for a triple. Back of the iron won't go. Rebound kept alive though. Going right up to the hoop and dropping it in is David Group. So it's 5-0. David Group scoring all the points so far.
Yeah, and that's where the height's going to make such a big difference on the offensive boards.
And inside, nice block, beautifully inside by number 51. That's Kyle Holmes.
And again, McBain seems very content in driving that paint and testing that height. So
triple left wing.
Not that time.
Aaron Winkle averages 25-5 a game, and there's his first three, so it's 5-3. Crystal Falls on top. Working around left side, driving his Kudwa, pulls up, takes a little short 6-footer, won't go. Bounced around, kept alive, and hit by Matt Wilcox. Already, Mike, we're seeing that size come into play.
The Comets are going to have to start to pack the paint, especially in offense, and get some bodies in there.
7-3, Forest Hills on top. Crystal Falls, pardon me. Inside, Hemme goes up with a shot and almost gets the roll, but it won't go down. Rebound cleared out by Kyle Holmes, and here come the Trojans. Mike Simony on top. We've got a whistle. And a foul on top on Doug Rohde.
McBain Northern Michigan Christian foul 22.
Forest Park's a very good basketball team. Northern Christian is going to have their hands full tonight, and they're going to have to shoot a very high percentage of their shot, although they are a 45% offensive shooting team.
Well, Group missed that triple. David Group didn't hit it. Rebound comes up to the Comets. And Aaron Winkle will bring it on up. Left side to Rohde. Back to Winkle. Very patient offense, as Mike pointed out, for this McBain Northern Michigan team. They trail 7-3 early. Left side is Blair Heat-Heiss. Heat-Heiss looking inside. Nowhere to go, and they'll try back on top. Rohde. Now right wing. Heat-Heiss with a shot. Short. 3 black shirts are there. And they come down with a rebound. Here come the Trojans. Kudwa with the rock. We'll try right side now. David Group. Back to Kudwa. Sees the opening. Goes to the hole. Off the window. Got it.
That was very nice offensive pattern. What they do so well is they put the passing lane real crisp, and they move the ball very well.
Kudwa's first bucket gives his team a 6-point lead, 9-3. Winkle looks back towards his bench and says, do we need to do anything different here? And the coach probably says, yes, you do. Dusty Hemmes with a jumper from the corner. It won't go. Winkle almost got the rebound, but instead it's grabbed by the Trojans.
That was a real tough shot from behind the backboard almost.
Darrin Kudwa dribbling on top. Now it's Mike Simony. It's like a 2-3 zone being employed by the Comets.
Yeah, what they're trying to do now is cut the passing lanes off and make it difficult. What a long shot.
Wow, there's a long three, and it rattles around and won't go. Dusty Hemis clears it.
That was a pro three-pointer.
3:08 left to go in the first quarter. 9-3. Crystal Falls Forest Park at 25-0 is leading McBain Michigan Northern Christian. A move to the bucket, and going down is Josh Sharda, and a foul called against the Trojans.
Josh got lucky there. He really got himself in no man's land, and the foul kind of saved him on that move.
Foul 51 Holmes. His first.
Kyle Holmes is called for that foul.
And for the Comets, 21 Eric Bobin for Rudy.
Got a substitution coming in for Crystal Falls. For McBain Northern Michigan Christian. Eric Bobin, number 21, has checked in the ball game, and 22, Rhodey, has sit down. They try to feed inside. Nice spin move in the lane. Up with a shot, and it won't go from Sharda. Josh tries it again, and rebound comes out to the Trojans.
These poor kids can't buy a basket. It's like this saran wrap over the rim for them.
Darrin Kudwa kicks it around the right side. Group, nice feed down low. Beautiful passing, but the shot is missed underneath by Wilcox. Rebound no good from Holmes. And finally a whistle that'll go against Forest Park.
Again, that set really showed you the dominance on the offensive boards, and as the game goes on, that's going to become more and more important.
Matt Wilcox gets called for his second foul, and he will take a seat. Mike Hamill, 6'7", 210-pound sophomore, comes in.
And they just keep getting bigger and bigger. I mean, as normally a school this size, the subs get smaller.
Little pressure this time, a little soft backcourt pressure. Front court pressure being put on by Crystal Falls, but Forest Park will drop back, and Aaron Winkle brings it up. Pete Heist back to Winkle. He'll try baseline, pulls up a little 8-footer, too strong. And there's your sophomore at 6'7", Mike Hamill, pulling it down and turning it back over.
The big guy just pulled down the rebound, got his feet caught before he passed it. 6'7", sophomore, just 14 or 15 years old. He's got a lot of growing to do.
That's a long way between those hands and those feet at 6'7",
sure
you know, Mike.
Sure is. And remember, 14 years old.
Pete Heist trying to inbound it, and does on top. And the shot put up, no good from Dusty Hemis, and another rebound for Forest Park, who is really controlling the glass so far in the first quarter of this Class D semifinal contest. Kudwa driving underneath, bumped somebody, and turned it over. Either stepped on the baseline or walked.
Took that little hop as he started under the baseline, got the ball caught on somebody's body. It just took that extra step.
And bringing it across is Aaron Winkle, getting a little pressure on top from Wilcox, almost a steal from Simony. Now Winkle gets cut off on the right baseline and kicks it back out on top. Dusty Hemis, left corner. Now they feed inside, and a bad pass in the middle is intercepted. Pulled down by Mike Simony, and here comes Forest Park.
What they really need to do, McBain, is move the ball around the perimeter much quicker and find themselves an open shot and start firing.
Simony to Wilcox. Whoa. Excuse me, that is not Wilcox. That's David Group, who now has 7 of the 11 points.
What a nice touch that young man has.
And David Group has already gone over his average for the game. He averages 6.9 a game, and he now has 7. 11-3, not a good start for McBain Northern Michigan Christian. And again, they're very, very patient. Shot up in the corner, that's no good. Rebound again, outlet pass.
Okay.
Here comes Darrin Kudwa for the layup, and I think we're about ready to see a timeout. It is now 13-3, 4 points for Kudwa. And I'm kind of surprised that the Comets aren't slowing us down with a timeout.
Well, they may be looking for them to play out of this little fog they're in, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. What they really need is a goal.
Sharda goes to the hoop, and it's knocked away by Darrin Kudwa. 13-3, one shot they'll call for in a very good first quarter from Crystal Falls Forest Park.
This is a very good basketball team. I can see why they're undefeated. It's not easy to be undefeated at any level.
You're right. No matter how good you are, you have that one-off day when somebody has a great day, but it hasn't happened. We're down to 4 seconds. Kudwa with a triple. Short. And that is the end of our first quarter here at the Breslin Center in East Lansing in this Class D semifinal, and you couldn't have written a better script if you're Crystal Falls Forest Park. They jump out to a big early lead and lead by 10, 13-3, and it's almost, I guess it is improbable, Mike, that a team like McBain Northern Michigan Christian, obviously a great team, made it all the way semifinals, would score just 3 points in the opening quarter.
Well, two things happened that are interesting is they came out very cold. They missed a lot of shots. Their shooting percentage for the year was 45%. I don't have the stats, but I bet they're shooting about 10 or 12%. The other thing is I don't think they're used to playing such a big basketball team. They seemed content to bringing the ball into the paint and feeding the jumpers, but when they brought the ball into the paint, they never got the ball out. So what I think they need to do is just move that ball crisply around the perimeter and look for an open shot. 1 for 13. Wow.
1 for 13
well, that's
from the
right.
floor.
They've only got 1 basket.
1 for 13 from the floor. Meanwhile, 6 for 13 so far for Crystal Falls Forest Park. And again, they are led by Mr. Storr, who has 7 points, and he averages 6.9 per contest. You know, some people mistakenly call high school athletic art, drama, and music programs extracurricular because they're conducted after the traditional school day is over. But really, in the total learning process, activities enhance what takes place in the classroom by teaching youngsters values they won't find in a book and then providing lifetime memories that are truly co-curricular. So support your local high school activities program. That's a public service message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association and ABS Sports.
One of the things that's interesting as you grow up, and I've done a lot of growing up because I'm old, but you think back in your high school days, the teams, the clubs, the theater groups so fondly. You remember those with such great remembrance. You wonder why you didn't do more of them.
That's right.
Well, the Comets, Todd, now have their work cut out for them. They have to get points on the board, and I think they're in pretty good shape defensively. But when you shoot 1 for 13 and make 1 basket offensively, you've got to get tough, and you've got to start to make some baskets and hopefully look for easy ones.
Yeah, you're right. I think that's the key, Mike. You got to get some better looks at the bucket. The shots they've been taking have not been
Very
really
tough.
the best shots in the world either. And there's a 3 on top, and it's a little bit short from Mike Simony. Rebound is pulled down by Josh Sharda. And now the Comets hope to get something on the board. Instead of bringing the ball down, Winkle will go down low. Turnovers, you can see, we're tied at 2 as far as the turnovers go. There's a good open shot. It's no good, though. And we'll go back the other way.
Todd, they take more of those shots, they're going to convert. They're a very good shooting basketball team.
Eric Bovin had a good look, one of the better looks we've seen actually all day long so far from the Comets, but it just wouldn't go. Nice feed down low,
beautiful.
up, and a great bucket. That is the sophomore Mike Hamill, who took a beautiful feed from the top, and it's 15-3. The sophomore now with 4 points. 2 points, pardon me.
Trojans use their height very well. They use that to its maximum advantage.
And a whistle inside. Great pass inside. Let's take a look at that replay of that last play with a great pass inside to the sophomore.
Now you're going to see it at the bottom of your screen, and that's taking advantage of your height advantage. And very good play, very good look.
Back to live action now at the Breslin Center in East Lansing. 15-3. You see the score. A little jumper is up and good by Aaron Winkle.
32, Aaron Winkle.
He now has all 5 points for McBain Northern Michigan Christian. They
Now
trail
hopefully
at
that broke the ice for them, and they'll start to get some better looks and some baskets.
That's Jeff Hagelin, who checked in the ball game during the quarter switch. Jeff Hagelin, number 13, who missed that last shot. And now we'll try to cut the lead back to single digits. Josh Sharda driving the lane, kicks it on top. Good fake. Dusty Hemme pulls up to the free throw line, won't go. Rebound, Darrin Kudwa.
That was a big rebound, and that was kind of interesting. If they would have made that conversion, they would have had down to 8, and they would have been kind of back in this basketball game.
Feed inside again to the sophomore, but it has it stolen away.
What's interesting is they've been completely dominated, yet they're only 10 points down.
And now they go back on top to Aaron Winkle. Winkle gets a pick, goes left side, but stops the drive. It takes the long-range 3. It's short. Rebound tipped around, and it comes back down in the hands of Mike Simony. Three-pointer left side.
Hello.
You can count that. Darrin Kudwa.
We had a great look at that shot because it happened right in front of us, and that was in the basket as soon as it left his hands, Todd.
Darrin Kudwa now with 7 points. 18-5 is the score as Forest Park is on top. Blair Heatheis standing well beyond the arc. Nice passing, and that's Dusty Hemis. Can't get it to go. Rebound. Bowman fights for it. It goes out of bounds, and it goes off Forest Park.
Yeah, now watch this replay coming back again. He knew he wanted that shot as soon as he brought it up. He squared up beautifully and just took the look, and again, it was in the basket as soon as it left his hand.
And he was watching that hoop from about the half-court line. He knew he wanted to shoot that one. 18-5, we've got 4:57 left in this first half. Nice drive all the way to the bucket and good from Aaron Winkle.
32 Aaron Winkle, basket by Winkle.
Well, now all they got to do is get somebody else to score on the McBain Northern Christian team. It's 18-7.
We'll keep him scoring.
Cross-court pass. Hagelin back on top. Simony penetrates, dishes it back out for a triple. This one won't go. Nice rebound underneath. And good from Mike Hamill.
Yeah, and really there was nothing much they could do about that. That was just a physical height rebound.
And there you see the score, 20-7. Forest Park on top. There's a little jumper. Got it. Boy, that'll help as Josh Sharda saw the quick opening and just put up the 15-footer. It's 20-9.
This Northern Michigan Christian team's not ready to pack up and get on the bus yet, Todd.
Ball knocked out of bounds, but it'll stay in Forest Park's possession. Got a substitution now for Crystal Falls. David Group, who scored, I believe, 7 points early in. After getting a blow, goes out, comes back in, rather, and Jeff Hagelin, number 13, takes a seat.
Jeff in his red shoes.
The only one out there, isn't he?
Yeah, there's somebody else on the bench making a fashion statement.
That defense kind of packing it in a little bit now because they're getting burned down low, and that zone defense of the Comets packing down low and then taking it right to the hoop. Blocked beautifully, however, by Aaron Winkle, and here comes the Comets on the run. Winkle, right side. Nice block on Dusty Hemis. Woo! Oh, great feed.
Oh, yes.
Great feed from Darrin Kudwa to Mike Hamill. Quickly at the other end, stolen away. Stepping on the baseline, however, was Mike Simony. Was that a beautiful feed from a 6'4" guy to a 6'7" guy?
Well, the whole thing was so precision. Here's the fast break. Oh, we lost it a minute. Made a great defensive play and really set up a great look for the basket.
22-9, Crystal Falls. Forest Park is on top. They've led the entire game. And there's Bowman with a triple.
Funny game basketball. A couple of threes and a couple of twos, and you're almost right back in the game.
22-12, the score. The team in black, Crystal Falls, Forest Park, in front by 10. And again, they're almost daring him to shoot those perimeter shots. Cross-court pass deflected, always dangerous against the zone, and Eric Bowman got a hand on it, but Forest Park will keep it.
And it's a pretty good strategy because they have almost no chance to stop the little layup because of the height disadvantage, and is a much lower percentage that they'll make the long shot.
There's a 18-footer. Won't go. Nice rebound, turnaround shot, no good though from Holmes. And a chance to cut the lead to 8 or 7. Aaron Winkle, left side, Bowman. Rainbow three. And Shazam, the fans are loving that one. 22-15, and a blocker, a charge. That'll be a blocking foul.
Yeah, that was a great acting job by Josh Carter. Shorter. He absolutely took a flop.
You got to hand it to this McBain Northern Michigan Christian team as they've come right back. In the ball game for Crystal Falls Forest Park is number 43, Scott Holmes. And it goes down low, now kicked on top. Kudwa.
Oh, is he a nice basketball player?
Certainly is. 9 points for Kudwa, 2:06 to go in the first half. It's 24-15. 9-point pad for the team in black. Aaron Winkle, left side, makes a move to the baseline. No, cut off, loses it. Kudwa has it. Kudwa on the dribble, behind the back, top of the key, pull up, bang, won't go. Rebound, pulled down and in by Mike Hamill.
Gotta love that kid. Showed it all.
Man, I tell you, if I'm a coach, that's a sophomore I'm happy to have on my team for the next 2 years. 26-15. And Bovin fakes the three, dribbles in, now kicks it back on top. They heat Heiss. His shot won't go. We've got contact underneath. Foul will go against Forest Park. We'll see who our zebra calls it on. Called it on 43, Scott Holmes.
Scott Holmes, his first 15 foul.
There you see a shot of Ward Helikowski for a moment. Excuse me, that was Gene Braz. You saw the McBain Northern Michigan coach for a moment. His team trailing by 9. Winkle with the ball on top. Winkle to the lane. Winkle, pull-up jumper, no good. And a whistle on the rebound.
Boy, he kind of bricked it off the side of the basket, and I think the shot was altered by the hand up there. That's a very unusual shot for him to miss.
Trojan foul, 43 Holmes, his second 16 foul.
And now the coach of McBain Northern Michigan Christian, Gene Braz, getting serious. He's got that coat off now.
Well, he's going to earn his pay today.
26-15, his team trails. They've got the ball, better get it in. They do get it in. Comes into Hinkle. Hinkle dribbles in, stops, off balance, running jumper off the window, no. Rebound, there's that sophomore. Intercepted though. Hinkle goes back up, no, but he draws the foul. Aaron Winkle, 6'2" junior, the leading scorer on this McBain Northern Michigan team, will be at the stripe for a couple.
Aaron, a big raw-boned kid that's yet to grow into his body. He's got a lot more inches and pounds coming on that one.
Have to put him on a diet of some of those hot dogs I saw you eating before the game, Mike.
Awesome. Just what I needed right now.
He gets 2 shots, our first free throws of this game, I believe. Knocks that first one down. 10-point game, 26-16. Crystal Falls leading McBain Christian.
Now, if the Comets could go in 7 or 8 points down, they could consider themselves pretty fortunate.
Winkle missed the second one. Got the rebound, but got called for the foul.
Comets foul,
there he is.
Aaron Winkle, his
second foul for Aaron Winkle.
Both coaches and both benches use the chart system. They call the plays by having the players or the coaches hold up charts.
In fact, this defense is called Big 0-0.
Or OC. Looks like OC.
OC, is it? Okay. Maybe I need my glasses, which is funny because I don't wear glasses. Zone defense still being employed by the Comets. Good ball movement right now by the Trojans. On top for the jumper, Simony, no good from 3. Rebound underneath, up and no good from Hamill on a foul. I think Hamill's going to get called for being a little bit too aggressive. Pardon me, not Hamill, that is Scott Holmes.
Yeah, and a very fortunate turn of events because this could be a 4 or 5 point turnaround just by not letting him score that. And this is a key time for this team. They need to go in, the Comets need to go in at halftime with some momentum, something going for them. They've had a very good second period compared to their first. And if they can gain a little momentum, this could be a very close basketball game.
Well, it started with a 13-3 quarter as McBain Northern Michigan was 1 of 13 to start things out in the first quarter. And there you see Ward Helikowski, the Crystal Falls Forest Park coach, over there on the bench.
Ward, a 9-letter man in Northern Michigan University. He's a very, very good athlete in his own right.
And a free throw is missed by Aaron Winkle, the first of a 1-and-1. It's 36 seconds to go into the first half, and we will, I would guess, see the Trojans hold this with a 10-point lead for the final shot.
And those missed foul shots could come back to haunt them later. They really needed to make those.
Going to look to maybe draw some of that defense out a little bit higher by spreading it and then find one of those big guys down low. We're down to 20 seconds on the clock.
And those 2 chasers are really working very hard on defense.
That's a tough roll, too, because wherever that ball goes on top, you're following it. Down to 8 seconds. Simony with the ball on top now to Hagelin. Hagelin will try the triple. Bank, no good. Rebound slapped away from Mike Hamill. Hamill might have had a look at it. but the ball slapped away, and boy, that one almost knocked the backboard off, that three that Jeff Hagelin put up.
Kind of an interesting turn of events. The Comets absolutely won the second period. Fortunately, you don't get wins for winning periods, but they've really figured out that they could play basketball with this team, and they're not as intimidated as they were, obviously, after a three-point period. So I look for them to come out and do more of the same the second half and pack down on the defense and spread out the offense and try and make some threes.
So the halftime score here is 26-16. Crystal Falls is leading McBain Northern Michigan Christian in this Class D semifinal game. We invite you to stick around with us. There's your halftime score. We will come back with some first half stats and the second half from the Breslin Center, East Lansing, in just a moment. Stay with us.
If you're in high school and you want to play sports in NCAA Division I or II schools, you must be certified by the NCAA Initial Eligibility Clearinghouse. Ask your coach or guidance counselor for one of these students' release forms. Fill it out and send it to the clearinghouse. Remember, if you are not certified, you can't compete as a freshman in the NCAA Division I or II. For more information, call 319-337-1492.
Welcome back to the Breslin Center in East Lansing, Michigan. As Crystal Falls Forest Park is leading the Comets of McBain Northern Michigan Christian 26-16.
Turn your switch off, Todd.
Kind of an interesting first half. The McBain team came out so cold and got right back in the game the second quarter. What they really need to do is make some foul shots. If they would have made a couple of their foul shots, they could have been in here with 6 or 7 points down, ready to make a run. But they should count themselves very fortunate, Todd, that they're only 10 points down. Of course, 10 points with the three-point shot nowadays is really 3.5 possessions.
You can definitely erase that in a hurry, although they are going to have to do something to try to figure out the Trojans' inside game. They are just getting beat up not only on the boards, but getting beat up on the opportunities that the Trojans are getting inside, and you have to be impressed with actually with a couple of players on this team, Mike. You got Darrin Kudwa, who's 6'4", 200 pounds, who we've seen can also play the perimeter, and the kid that I think has surprised me the most is Mike Hamill, who's 6'7", 210-pound sophomore.
Well, you have to be impressed with the whole team. They've really stepped up to the fore, and you're right. Darrin Kudwa is the kind of basketball player. You know, you talk about Class D. I think he's a kid. You're from the Saginaw area. I've worked the Flint area. It is a kid that could really step up and play on most A teams in the state.
Yeah, he can play with just about anybody with that kind of size, that kind of height, that kind of bulk, and he really knows how to move around when he does not have the ball to get the ball. Let's take a look at some of the first half numbers before we get back underway. First of all, for McBain Northern Michigan Christian, trailing by 10. You can see the leading scorer for them is Aaron Winkle, who's been their leading scorer all year, 8 points, 5 boards. And then a guy off the bench, and Eric Bowman is next with 6. And then it's Josh Sharda with only 2, and you can see they need to get more balance in that scoring attack. And you also saw the percentage before he switched it was what, 23%?
Yeah, 23%. And really on the other side, Kudwa has 9 points, 2 rebounds. Hamel has 8 points, 8 rebounds. Can you imagine? And Group is 7-1, but they're shooting a torrid 12 for 29, and that's really an effect of the rebounds. They picked up a large percentage in the rebounds. That's a nice pass.
41%. Nice work this time underneath, but they have to kick it back on top. That's Hemis who gets it out to Winkle. Winkle with an off-balance shot and gets it to drop through the net.
And if they'd learned anything that first half, we saw it right quick, is they're not going to jam the ball in the paint and hope for a foul. They'll kick it back out.
A little bit higher pressure on the ball this time on that defense from the Comets. 26-18 is now the score. The feed goes inside. Now kick it back on top. And Kudwa will miss it, but it's kept alive with a nice tip underneath. And they'll continue to work it around. Kudwa left side, pass intercepted. Heat Heiss, Blair Heat Heiss, 6'1" senior, picked it off. And now the Comets looking to get this one a little bit closer. Maybe a 6 game or even a 5-point game with a triple.
And if they convert here, they'll start believing in themselves, and that'll go a long way. That's going to go a long way right there. They're going to start thinking, yeah, we may be able to win this basketball game.
Nice move to the hole by Josh Sharda, and it's a 6-point game, 26-20 with 6:44 left to go in the third. Looks like maybe they're in a 1-3-1 now. They're putting a little higher pressure out on top on that zone. There's a wide open 3 left side. It won't go for Mike Simony. Rebound is pulled down by Aaron Winkle. And suddenly, you can feel the momentum begin to swing.
Yeah,
Mike.
that old man momentum, he's amazing. You can absolutely feel it in the gymnasium. You can see it on the kids' faces.
Man-to-man defense by Forest Park to open up the second half here. And McBain Northern Michigan Christian being very patient, working it around, but it looks like they've got a little bit more movement in their offense right now.
Yeah, one of the things they're doing very well is they're starting to move towards the passes. They're cutting down their passing lanes, and they're much more snap in the passes.
Josh Sharda drives the paint, one-handed, bangs it in, but it won't go. Rebound underneath, up and Blair Heat Heiss pulls his team to within 4.
That's why you got to love basketball. You never know what's going to happen.
How about that? They made a nice comeback in the second quarter, and now McBain Northern Michigan Christian opens up so far with 6 straight points, and they have cut that lead to 4 points, 26-22.
Kind of interesting to see the Northern Christian team adjust so well on offense and defense, and I think they took Forest Park by surprise. Forest Park really had decided to come out and do more of the same what they've done the first half. And with the offensive and defensive adjustments that McBain has come up with, they're going to have to make some adjustments quickly on the bench.
Now, wasn't Crystal Falls Forest Park in a zone most of that first half? Then they come out and they open up here in the second. It looks like in a man-to-man.
Yeah, and I think they just showed them a new look. That's it. They'll probably go back to where they were the first half that was so successful.
Here's that last bucket. Nice drive to the hoop. They bang it.
And it was the rebound that was that was such good work. Kind of not a power rebound, just a little head fake. Got his defensive man up and nailed the layup.
That was Blair Heat Heiss with that hoop to pull his team within 4, and we've got a definite different look. And Mike and I, during the halftime break, were talking about how we thought this was really going to maybe turn out to be a pretty tight game as we see a couple of fans enjoying a little pizza in the stands, and that's exactly what we've got right now.
Well, really, Todd, it only could have gone 2 ways. It could have got really ugly, or it could have got closer. The game wasn't going to stay the same.
And now,
full court pressure.
A little pressure by the Comets. Full court pressure. First time we've seen that today. Darrin Kudwa will dribble across the timeline.
Boy, they barely got it up.
David Group, left side, Kudwa. Drives to the bucket, pulls up. Nice little jumper left side, but it won't go. Rebound, Aaron Winkle.
Wow.
Funny how in one half you can't do anything wrong, and then maybe another half starts out where you really have a hard time doing things right. Although that was a nice shot by Kudwa, just wouldn't fall. He had a nice look at it.
Oh, that was a dangerous pass.
And they're back in the zone. Crystal Falls back in the zone, but his 5th point now for Blair Heat Heiss, and it's a 4-point game, 26-22. They didn't put the points up yet.
No, it's a 1-point game. I was wondering what was going on. I think they were wondering whether it was a 2 or 3.
26-25, and there's a charge.
Wow.
Number 33, Darrin Kudwa, really had the left forearm out leading that drive to the basket. They didn't call the charge, though. They just called it out of bounds.
He was very lucky.
26-25. Now back to his zone defense for Forest Park.
Well, when they were man-to-man, what McBain was doing is they were drawing the big men out. Look at this. Look at this. Winkle just really drove into the paint. But on the man-to-man, they had drawn the big men out and opened up the rebounding lanes to them.
And that bucket by Winkle gave McBain their first lead. The three is no good from Darrin Kudwa. Rebound and got a whistle.
I mean, it's like two different basketball games, Todd. First half was so completely different than this half.
Well, so far, the Comets have opened up with an 11-1 spurt to start the second half. And back in the ball game is Eric Bobin, number 21, 6'1", 165-pound junior, checks in for McBain Northern Michigan Christian, now leading by one. And here they come quickly. Nice pass left side. There's Heat Heist for three.
Imagine.
Look at him talk to the crowd.
Can you imagine this turnaround?
And a timeout is being called, and look at that bench over on the McBain Northern Michigan Christian side. They are fired up as they have opened up with a 14-1 run to take a 4-point lead. Let's take a look at that last triple from Heat Heist.
Now watch it at the left side bottom of your. No, this is yeah, there it is. The left side. He wanted that three right from the get-go. He would square it up. He knew just where he was standing. And what we have here, Todd, this may be a replay of Hoosiers. This is the kind of basketball game that tournaments and movies are made of.
Well, you talk about momentum. You talk about teams getting on a run or getting in a groove. It was all Crystal Falls Forest Park in the first quarter as they led 13-1. They came back, and it was a 10-point game at the half, 26-16 with Forest Park in front. And so far, as I said, a 13-1 run so far, and it is now 30-20. Make that a 14 to nothing.
A 14 to
14
nothing,
to nothing
really.
run,
Yeah. You know, when the Pistons was so hot, they talked about the players being in a zone, and you get the feeling this whole Northern Michigan Christian team is in a zone this third quarter. That they've absolutely done nothing wrong on offense and defense, and you know, as we check the statistics of the whole playoff, they have held so many of their opponents into the 30s, and it looked like they were in big trouble giving up 26 points for a half, but now they're right on schedule and holding their opponents in under 40.
And 3:53 left to go in the third quarter here at the Breslin Center in this Class D state semifinal game. I'm Todd Arner with Mike Cenit and your call, and a 30-26 lead. Darrin Kudwa pulls up with a jumper. Good look at it, but it won't go. The rebound is pulled down by Aaron Winkle. You can't really complain, Mike, about the shots that they're getting. They just won't fall.
No, the thing that's kind of interesting is Forest Park is not getting their position to get the rebounds. They're letting the Comets box them out. There's no reason why they shouldn't have got that rebound with their superior height.
That's a great point because they really controlled, they being Forest Park, really controlled the boards in the first half, and we're not seeing it so far this third quarter.
Because they're giving up critical position on the rebounds.
Pass left side, Blair Heat Heist, who's heated things up a bit here in the second half.
This is kind of interesting if they're willing to give up time now instead of scoring.
Sometimes you don't want to slow down that rhythm you're in, but a nice drive to the hoop, and Winkle is a little long. Rebound is pulled down by the Trojans, and here they come. Trying the left side now. Zone pressure defense by the Comets. Darrin Kudwa goes right baseline, is cut off down low, so he kicks it across. The shot is up, the shot is short left side by David Group, and they're only getting one look at it.
And it's unbelievable they can't even buy a basket.
30-26 is our score. The team you see in white, McBain Northern Michigan Christian on top by one, and there's a pass deflected out of bounds by Mike Simony.
You know, and you look at these Forest Park kids, their faces, the only way I could describe it is shock. They really can't believe what's happening to them.
2:23 left to go in this third. 30-26 is the score.
You know, Todd, maybe Forest Park needs on offense to drive the paint and try and get on the foul line and stop this run.
They need to do something to stop the run. Another one-handed jumper won't go this time from Winkle. And finally, a rebound cleared out by Mike Hamill. The Trojans at 25-0 on the year, trying to make it to tomorrow's final. There's a triple left side. And there it is. That is David Group, number 55, now with 10 points on the day. And it's a one-point game, 30-29. The Trojans trailing the Comets.
Kind of a replay of the first quarter in reverse.
And we'll have a substitution for Forest Park. Checking back in the ballgame is 5'8" senior Jeff Hagland. And sitting down for a breather is Mike Simony. McBain Northern Michigan Christian with the rock and a one-point lead. Aaron Winkle looking, now finds a hole and penetrates, puts up the 15-footer, yes!
That was a great shot. If he would have went straight up with that shot, he would have had it right back in his face. Gave him the little delay, a little fake, and went up for the 8-foot jumper.
32-29, there you see the score with 1:19 left to go in the third. Jumper, Kudwa can't hit it. Rebound is kept alive by Jeff Hagland. And there's Group with another triple, won't go.
Big rebound right there.
Aaron Winkle is not weighty at 6'2", 180, but he got good position on that rebound. Josh Sharda goes on top. And now it's Dusty Hemis dishing it off to Aaron Winkle in the corner. Hemis back on top. He's not shy to shoot. Bobin puts it up just short. Rebound, Sharda had it for a second. He kicks it loose to Aaron Winkle. Winkle back to Sharda. Sharda in the corner. Bobin likes to put it up, and he does.
He says, I'll keep shooting till I make it. That's all.
35-29. McBain Northern Michigan Christian in front. There's a triple on the right side. Darrin Kudwa says, I'll take your three and I'll raise you three. 35-32. Comets in front. 8 seconds to go in the third. They've got to call one play. Winkle trying to call it, goes around a pick, puts up the triple. No good. Rebound pulled down by the Trojans, and that's the way the third will end.
Well, you know, if you're in trouble, you go to your leader, and Kudwa is the one that'll lead them out of this morass, as you will. He's a prime-time player. He's got a great shot, and he's got great basketball sense. And you want to know something? We're pretty close to an OT here. I could almost smell it, Todd.
16-9 was the score for Crystal Falls Forest Park, outscoring, excuse me, other way around. McBain Northern Michigan Christian outscoring them 16-9, and they lead after three, 35-32. What a contest, what a quarter that one was for the Comets of McBain Northern Michigan Christian. Take a look at that last triple by Forest Park. This will be Kudwa.
Yeah, comes right back to the bottom of your screen. And watch him square up. He's a very good basketball player. And when you square up for a long one, you got a better chance of making it than shooting off balance.
Let me make a correction. That was a 19-6 run in that quarter for McBain Northern Michigan Christian.
Two future high school All-Americans, perhaps volleyball or basketball. They seem to be enjoying themselves, and why wouldn't they?
Good time out here at the Breslin Center. Hey, pretend for a moment that you're the only person in attendance at a high school game. Would your behavior include ridiculing impressionable 14 to 17-year-olds, openly second-guessing coaches, and berating officials? Well, probably not. So the next time you're in a crowd at a contest, act as if you were the only fan in the stands and encourage the participants in a positive manner. Remember, good sports are winners. That's a public service message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association and CBS Sports.
Now, one of the things, Todd, you could look for in the rest of this game is both teams will probably get involved in a shootout. Tournament games, somehow, fourth period, late half, usually end up at a shootout. This could be a very, very interesting quarter.
All right, we are underway for the final 8 minutes of this Class D semifinal game. One team goes home, one team spends the night in Lansing and plays for a state title tomorrow. Zone defense by the Comets. And Forest Park being patient. Shot is up and short, and a foul on the rebound will be called against Darrin Kudwa. He fouled Aaron Winkle, who came down with that rebound.
Crystal Falls Sports Park foul 33. Kudwa, his second team foul.
Well, now we're going to see the mettle of both these teams. They're both had very good seasons, and down to the last 8 minutes for somebody. Beautiful play.
Oh, there goes Winkle.
Missed it.
Winkle missed the open layup, and it comes back the other way, and we'll have a foul on the backcourt on Josh Sharda.
Winkle will be watching that shot for years to come, wishing he had that one back.
Winkle has 14 points in this game. But 14 points, Mike, but 18 rebounds already.
Yeah, and he's been just a monster on the boards for McBain.
Mike Simony, one of the starters, checks back in for Forest Park, 5'8", 145 junior. And Jeff Hagelin sits down. 35-32, McBain Northern Christian with a 3-point lead. It could be tied right now. It won't be, though. The shot is no good from Darrin Kudwa. Rebound, though, comes out long, and it comes out to the team with the rock. Kudwa spins. A whistle and a foul will be called on Sharda.
Yeah, McBain's calling for a charge. They're saying he hooked him with his elbow, but that was a good call.
Blocking foul call. It'll be out of bounds underneath the Forest Park basket. They trail by 2 after leading after 1, 13-3. Third quarter is the story, a 19-6 quarter in favor of McBain Northern Christian, who comes up with a steal. Sharda has it. He'll slow down, let his offense catch up. That'll allow Forest Park to set up in their man-to-man defense. Aaron Winkle on top to Hemis. Dusty Hemis, cross-court pass to Eric Bovin. Bovin, nice feed inside to Hemis. Ooh, and he felt the heat of Mike Hamill coming, the 6'7" sophomore, with some great intimidation on that play.
I get real nervous with cross-court passes. I know a lot of coaches like them, and I think it's a no-no.
Well, both teams going a couple of possessions without scoring. Nice feed inside. The left-hander, though, will not go. And the rebound is pulled down by the Comets.
Kind of strange where both teams have tightened up so much this fourth quarter.
That was Kyle Holmes who put that last shot up, but it wouldn't go. Heat Heist puts it up. No. Tip comes out long. Heat Heist chases it down out near the center. And it's Josh Sharda. Ball above his head. We've got 6:10 to go in the fourth quarter. Sharda looking inside, waiting for some man to break, takes it himself, gets a bump and a whistle.
You know, reviewing the keys to this game, you have to say McBain is very comfortable where they're at. They're very comfortable keeping the defense in the 30s or the low 40s. And with 6 minutes to go, they've held this really high-powered, big scoring team to 32 points, and they have to be very pleased.
Timeout is called with 6:03 left to go in the contest. Again, the winner of this one plays either Portland St. Patrick or Detroit Holy Redeemer for the Class D state crown. And what a thrill that would be for either one of these schools to get a chance to play in the final on past television live on a Saturday afternoon. And really a good honor for both teams just to get this far. And I would have to believe it'd be a thrill just to play here at the Breslin Center.
As one of the fans reading the program and obviously into basketball, he wants to know who's playing next.
He's doing a little scouting report there, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, checking this arena out at this timeout, this is such a wonderful facility.
I think Bob Euchre got those guys tickets.
Either that or Tommy Skinner, our producer. He's really good at tickets. Checking this whole arena, it's just such a wonderful facility. We're very fortunate in the state of Michigan to have this, and of course, Chrysler Arena, and so many fine facilities for high schools and colleges to play. I've lived in Louisiana and New York and a bunch of other places, and you'd think you were a pro team if you played this place in Louisiana.
It's going to be an interesting final 6 minutes. 35-32. McBain Northern Michigan Christian is leading Crystal Falls Forest Park. They came in at 25-0. The Comets came in at 22-4. One of them will go home after tonight's game, and one will go on to the final. And McBain Northern Michigan Christian will inbound it underneath their own basket. It'll be Blair Heat Heist who will do the honors. Everybody stacked up. It comes in quickly to Dusty Hemis. who dishes it on top to Eric Bovin. Back to Heat Heiss.
Now they're in no hurry to score. I don't think they should just throw it up. They should force Forest Park out to force them into doing something.
There's Hemmes driving the lane. Nice move to the bucket, and he got it. Dusty Hemmes.
And if they were going to shoot, you take a very high percentage shot, just like that.
5-point lead now. That was great ball movement. That's exactly the kind of shot a coach likes to see the team work off 45 seconds for. Wide open left side for a triple. Won't go. Bounces around. Great rebound, number 19 for Aaron Winkle, as that shot by Darrin Kudwa kind of hung on the rim. And did Winkle bring that down with some authority?
Boy, has he done yeoman work on the boards. He's going to win a Dennis Rodman Award of the game, Todd.
Fortunately, though, his hair has stayed the same color all day long.
Thank God.
There it goes to Winkle underneath. One fake goes up, and he picks on the foul from Mike Hamill. He'll be at the line to shoot two.
He was really hammered, and what brought that foul on was the nice body control and head fake.
Trojan foul. 41. Mike Hamill, his first 14th foul.
Let's take a look at that ball movement we talked about on that last basket by McBain Northern Michigan Christian.
Yeah, and what they're doing is they're setting up for a very high percentage shot. They end up with a layup right under the right of the basket.
Nice cut from that left wing across the top.
Beautiful.
Just how you design it. 38-32. The free throw is good. The first free throw from Winkle. Second one no good. Rebound Mike Hamill. And Crystal Falls Forest Park thought about a fast break for a moment. But both teams really would rather get into their half-court offense, and that's exactly what the Trojans will do. Mike Simony goes left wing to David Group. Group on top, and there's another shot. Darrin Kudwa. And they gave the three. 38-35 as Kudwa now has 15 points. 4:32 left to go in this contest. Almost a steal on top. Wide open is Blair Heat Heiss. It's short. Rebound is pulled down by David Group. And now with a triple, Forest Park can tie it up or pull within one. Directing traffic on top. There's the triple. Tie game.
And he's warming up just when he needs to be. He's just, you know, if you're going to be a successful basketball team, you need a go-to guy. Guy that wants the basketball in prime time, and he's the man.
Kudwa with those two buckets is now the game's leading scorer. Bovin from the corner. And Eric Bovin now with 12 as he has the answer and puts Northern Michigan back on top by 3. Other side, another triple. This one is an air ball from Group, out of bounds, and it goes out of bounds to the Comets. Man, you got some guys just launching it.
And just as we talked about before the start of this period, this game is turning into a shootout. And the question is, who has the better shooters? I really look for it to be Winkler against Kudwa. It's going to really come down to a one-on-one.
Well, Kudwa was behind Winkle, but he hit those 2 threes, and he now has 18 points. Hinkle with 15 points, but boy, it may be who has the last shot in this game will win it.
Well, you know, in a game like this, it's the guy that took you to the dance is the one you dance with. And this has turned out to be an excellent basketball game.
Much better than it was after that first quarter. Again, it was 13-3 after one, 26-16 at the half, and then a big third quarter by McBain Northern Michigan Christian as they outscored the Trojans by a 19-6 tally to take a 35-32 lead after 3. And now with 3:45 to go, it's a 3-point game, 41-38, as the crowd is on its feet, enjoying a fine evening of basketball here at the Breslin Center.
Yeah, you know, if you haven't been to a high school basketball game, you're missing the best $5 ticket in America. These are absolutely the best times, and these are what memories are made of. To get back to this game, I've got to give you a lot of credit. We were discussing this game at halftime, and you absolutely predicted this game was going to get close, and I kind of said, come on, Todd.
It's close now.
It sure is.
Crowd on its feet, you can hear the noise. They're enjoying this game. A little pressure will be applied in the backcourt this time by Crystal Falls Forest Park. Dribbling it up is Josh Sharda. Sharda will dish it off to Hemmes. Dusty gets it across the timeline after the screen from Josh Sharda. And now, patience looking for the right shots. Every shot going to start counting now with 3:30 to go. Feet inside, kick back out. Eric Bobin will shoot. No good. Rebound pulled down by Darrin Kudwa. Kudwa takes it up court, right to the hole. Left-hander too short. Tips it back out to his own man, and good. Matt Wilcox.
Probably one of the best athletic moves you'll ever see. Caught his own short shot on the fly and flipped it back. Got the assist.
And we've got a foul called on Mike Simony, who was setting a screen. Or Mike actually was trying to fight through a screen.
What Northern has to do is they have to get better shot selection now. They're still holding a small lead, but there's no reason to take a 20-foot three at this point. Unless, of course, you make it.
You can see the free throws there. There haven't been many, and Forest Park hasn't taken a single free throw yet in this contest.
This is a very quick game. That's probably the reason. Very few fouls.
Bobin penetrates. Nice feed down low. Great play by Eric Bobin to find Josh Sharda.
Kind of a little reverse pick and roll and work to perfection.
43-40. We've got 2:40 to go. And with the ball on top is Darrin Kudwa. He'll stop. That'll be a two. If it goes, it won't. Another rebound for Mr. Aaron Winkle, who is the chairman of the boards in this contest.
Absolutely owns them. He has just done an unbelievable job.
And now with a 3-point lead, you want to take your time. You want to get a good shot. Whether it takes 15 seconds or 35 or 45, you want to just get a good shot. That's the key here.
Well, one of the things to watch is they don't seem to be a very good foul shooting team. And Forest Park might decide to put them on the foul line.
Bobin goes to the hole, pulls up with a 4-footer, and it's short. Rebound is ripped down. And here come the Trojans, trailing by 3 with 1:53 to go. There's a triple left side. No good from Hagelin, and a rebound foul.
Now on the other side, there's really no reason for Forest Park to rush their shots. They really need to get the ball into the hands of their high point output men. That was a very low percentage shot from about 22 feet out, and it was rushed.
Darrin Kudwa will inbound the ball underneath his own basket. It comes into Mike Simony. Simony dribbles on top. McBain shoots 70% from the line, and there's a foul. And that'll be a block, I believe, called on McBain Northern Michigan Christian.
Yeah, but kind of interesting. They're 2 for 5 this half, so they're 70%. They're 2 for 5 for the game, excuse me. So you have a team shooting 70% for the season and 40% for the game. Kind of an interesting statistic.
That's the 4th-team foul, Mike, for the Comets. 5 team fouls right now on Crystal Falls. And again, they'll stack it up underneath, and Darrin Kudwa will inbound it on top high to Mike Simony for 3. No good. Rebound grabbed though by Wilcox. No, Kudwa!
33, Kudwa.
It is a 1-point game as Kudwa now with 20 points. And a steal on top by Mike Simony. And they're looking to take the lead again. Nice feed down low to Wilcox. He spins up, misses it, and a whistle foul called against McBain Northern Michigan Christian and Dusty Hemis.
Well, minute 16, and it's not getting any easier.
A 1-point game. A timeout is being called. What a finish this one will be. 1:16 to go, and a 1-point lead for McBain Northern Michigan Christian.
You may have called it. The last one in is the one that's going to win the game. As so many of these playoff games go, you've watched the NCAA all season and the playoffs and these high school games. It gets down to the last shot.
What do you tell the kids, Mike, in a timeout like this? Obviously, the season is on the line. Either team is in the game with a 1-point lead for McBain Northern Christian. What do you think each coach might be telling their team?
Well, the key thing at a time like this is possession. You don't want to lose the basketball on an errant pass or a bad shot. Really, at this point, either team, if they have control of the basketball, can win the game with control of the basketball. So the key thing is possession. You don't want to give up the basketball without scoring. And what's going to happen is McBain will have the shot to win the game or control the basketball game, depending on what happens on the foul line. So it's really their game to win or lose at this point, I think.
Anybody can still have this one, as Mike pointed out. Again, what you want to do is just play under control at this point. Sometimes maybe a kid might think for a second he wants to be the hero, or you might want to take a shot that you really don't need to take. The best thing to do is work it around until you get the kind of look you're looking for. And
well, and we've seen McBain throughout the game come up with key plays based on this kind of situation, where Forest Park seems content on winning the game on a rebound or a jump shot. So it's going to get interesting. Again, the game comes down to the opposing styles that each team plays.
At the free throw line, it is Matt Wilcox. This will be his first free throw of the night. No. He's got 4 points on the evening, but 0 for 1 now from the charity stripe. And we have a tie game with 1:16 to go. Pressure being put on the backcourt, and bringing it across is Josh Sharda. He's double teamed in the trap.
You don't want to foul. You don't want to lose this game on the foul line.
Tip out of bounds by Darrin Kudwa. McBain Northern Michigan Christian will keep it with 1:04 showing on the clock, and a tie game, 43-43 in this Class D semifinal from the Breslin Center. Almost intercepted. There's a foul on the inbounds pass by Darrin Kudwa.
Yeah, and that was kind of a calculated risk. If he stole the basketball, fine. If he fouled him, no harm, because they're not going to the foul line.
Had to foul to give.
Right.
That's the 16th foul. And now 1 minute even to go in the contest, tied at 53. Man-to-man defense. With the block on top is Josh Sharda. He goes right side to Blair Heatheist. Heatheist looking, and dishes it off to Aaron Winkle.
Now they need to hold this basketball until about the 12-second mark.
Winkle pulls up with a jumper, won't go, gets his own rebound and is fouled.
So much for my prediction.
What a job he's done on the boards. I think I read a 0 as an 8 earlier. I credited him with 18 rebounds earlier. Actually, on the computer, that would be his 14th rebound.
Still not a bad night's
no,
work.
15 points and 14 boards.
And from the foul line, he's been erratic. He's I can't see, but I think he's probably at 50%. So
so far he's 2 for 5.
2 for 5. He's at 40%. Well, he's actually the whole game's foul shooting for. Now they're 70% shooters for the year, but again, for the game, he's 2 for 5. So
here's the first of 2. Got it.
He stepped up there to the foul line like he's in his driveway at home. No pressure.
Well, McBain Northern Michigan Christian, the better free throw shooting team, 70% versus 58%, and they have a 1-point lead with 41 ticks left. Make it a 1-point lead still, and a rebound is pulled down by Darrin Kudwa. And here's where it gets interesting. Trailing by 1, Crystal Falls Forest Park brings it up, and they want a timeout. 31.8 left.
Now, if I was the coach of Forest Park, I'd work the ball around to the 10 or the 8-second mark, and I'd look to plant 1 or 2 of my big guys in the paint, go for the layup. If you miss it, take the foul shot. Take a very high percentage shot.
You obviously don't want to leave the other team. It doesn't matter if they have time after the shot is missed, because they're in front right now. So do you want to go down and take a shot early, or do you want to run the clock down for a ways?
Well, I'm a firm believer is don't leave too much time on the board, because even if they score and they leave 30 or 35 seconds, they're at a disadvantage. So again, I would run the clock down to the 12 or 10-second mark, start to get into my offensive pattern, and look to get a very high percentage shot under the basket.
These guys have pretty good seats, Mike, but I think our job maybe is a little easier than theirs.
Oh, this looks like a pretty friendly crowd. They shouldn't have too much problem.
Well, you're right. We'll probably see them wind it down to about 15 seconds or so, and then start working for that play. If you miss the shot, you got a chance for a tip or a rebound, and if you don't, you foul them and hope you go down to the other one. You got to foul in a hurry if you don't get the shot, though.
Well, there's a very good chance that Forest Park is going to have a chance to win this game or lose it on the foul line. And if that's the case, remember they're a 54% foul shooting team for the season, so it's going to get interesting.
31.8 left, 44 for the leading team, McBain Northern Michigan Christian, 43 for Crystal Falls Forest Park. Foul will come out on the side. And you don't want to foul if you're the Comets, because you don't want to put somebody on the free throw line with a chance to take the lead in the game.
Or there's a theory, if you're going to do it quick.
Mike Simony will bring it up. 27 seconds left. You see the clock in your lower right-hand side. Simony on top to Kudwa. Kudwa up with a jumper. Rolls around. That's a two. That's a two-pointer. With 17.7 seconds to go, it is now a 1-point lead for Crystal Falls Forest Park.
Again, kind of interesting. They let that fly, and it was a fairly high percentage shot. It looked like about a 14-footer, maybe 15-footer, but they've left close to 18 seconds on the clock, and again, the roles are reversed.
Yep.
They can win or lose this game on the foul line. Now watch the shot. It's going to come from right to the top of the key.
He's down low. He'll post up right there.
Yeah, just inside the three. That makes it about a 16, and got the shooter's roll, but absolutely the right man to go to. He's the one that brought you here.
I'm a little surprised because, as you pointed out, Mike, maybe they wanted to run a little bit more time off the clock, because 17 seconds is a heck of a lot of time right now for McBain Northern Michigan Christian to go down and get what might be the game-winning shot. And as you said, now the roles are exactly reversed from what they were before this last time out.
Well, you know, it's kind of interesting. High school kids are an interesting breed. You could coach them and coach them and coach them, and when the shot happens, they'll take it. They have to be pleased with the shot. I mean, they're up now. They're up 45-44, but again, the roles are exactly reversed, and there's plenty of time now for a lot of things to happen.
22 points for Darrin Kudwa, who got that shooter's roll on that last bucket as the teams break from their huddles and come back out on the Breslin Center floor here in East Lansing on the campus of Michigan State University. 45-44. Forest Park in the lead by one, and the ball in the hands of McBain Northern Michigan Christian, and you'll see Forest Park put on some at least soft pressure in the backcourt. Man-to-man, they'll match up. 15 seconds. Here it is. Got to get it up court a little quicker. It's already down to 10 seconds. With it on top is Sharda. Sharda to the Winkle. Aaron Winkle spins, goes baseline with 3.5. It's up, it's no good. Tipped out long, and that'll do it.
And the reason that happened was absolute superb defense. They watched Winkle. They were on him like a glove. He absolutely got no look at the basket at all.
And you see the mixture of emotions displayed on that court right there. There you're looking at the jubilation of the Crystal Falls Forest Park team, and there you see a little bit of the other side of the coin as McBain Northern Michigan Christian with a chance to win the game on the final shot. It was not a very good look at the basket by Aaron Winkle. Some great defense, as Mike pointed out. The shot went off high and did the worst possible thing it could for the Comets, and that's bounced long back towards half court. The buzzer goes off. What a game.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Go back and watch the replay at the end of the first quarter, and you figure we'd be in for a long night. And great game.
Got to hand it to McBain Northern Michigan Christian for coming back after trailing 13-3 after one. They trailed by 10 at the break, 26-16, but came out like a house of fire in the third with a 19-6 outscoring advantage to lead after three, 35-32. And this game went right down to the wire, but that jumper with 17.7 seconds to go that rolled through from Darrin Kudwa proved to be the game winner, and that means Crystal Falls Forest Park goes to 26-0 on the season, and they move on to the Class D final Saturday afternoon to play either Portland St. Patrick or Detroit Holy Redeemer. But Mike, from a broadcaster's point, from a fan's point, as long as you're not a hardcore McBain Northern Michigan Christian fan, if you're just a basketball fan looking for a great game, this one had it all.
Well, and even if you're a McBain fan, they've had such a fabulous season, and really nobody lost this game. Just one team goes on and one team goes home. A season has to end eventually, and to me, this kind of basketball game and this kind of crowd, they're both winners.
UP Power, says the banner, as the Upers from Crystal Falls Forest Park come down and take the victory, and will play for that final tomorrow. And what a Cinderella year it would be for them if they could not only win the state title, but to go undefeated at 27-0 and take a state title. I guess, as they say, it just doesn't get any better than that.
Well, we kind of have an interesting scenario. Just 2 years ago, they won just 2 basketball games, and they're 2 basketball games away from the biggest win, the biggest season of their
That's
career.
incredible. So that's going to do it today from the Breslin Center in East Lansing. Michael, it was a pleasure working with you. Enjoyed it very much, and hopefully we'll get a chance to see you again soon.
Todd, it's been fun, and I'm sure you'll see you around a few of these gyms in this big old state of ours.
There's our final. The Class D finalist is Crystal Falls Forest Park as the Trojans knock off a tough McBain Northern Michigan Comet team in the final, 45-44. For Mike Cenit, I'm Todd Arner. Thank you for joining us, everyone, and have a great evening.